Dear students, welcome to mathematics classes. In this session, I am going to explain prime numbers, composite numbers, LCM of two numbers, GCD of two numbers, and fractions. So let us start with the concept prime numbers. So what is prime number? A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that is not a product of two smaller natural numbers. So what is the meaning of that? For example, if you take 2, see, this 2 cannot be written as a product of two smaller natural numbers. For example, what is the smaller natural number which is less than 2? If you take 1, 1. So 2 cannot be written as 1 into 1. If you take 3, there are no natural numbers which is less than 3 and product of those two numbers is 3. If you take 4, if you consider 4 can be written as 2 into 2, product of two smaller natural numbers. So 4 is not a prime number. If you take 5, yes, 5 is a prime number. If you take 6 can be written as 2 into 3. 2 3s are 6. Two smaller natural numbers. Product of these will be 6. So 6 is not a prime number. Like that 7. Yes, 7 is a prime number. If you take 8 can be written as 2 into 4. Two smaller natural numbers. Product of 2 into 4 is 8. So 8 is not a prime number. Next 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31 and etc. So on. These are all the examples for prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31 and so on. And one more observation you can observe here. What is that? 2. If you observe this one is a only one prime number which is even. If you observe remaining, all are odd numbers. So in this, a natural number which is even and prime number is only one, that is 2. So this is the concept of prime number. So what about composite number? Other than these numbers, remaining all are composite numbers. A number which is not a prime number, that is called as composite numbers. It is called as composite numbers. See, 4, 6, 8, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 and so on. All these are composite numbers. And what is the observation about these composite numbers? Each composite number can be written as product of two or more prime numbers. Each composite number can be written as product of two or more composite prime numbers. If you take 4, 2 into 2. If you take 6, we can write 2 into 3. If you take 8, 2 into 4. If you take 9, we can write 3 into 3. If you take 10, we can write 2 into 5. If you take 12, we can write 2 into 3 into 2. See, each composite number can be written as product of two or more prime numbers. This is the important point you have to remember in this. So this is the concept of prime numbers and composite numbers. These are the examples. Now let us discuss LCM. LCM. What is this LCM? Least common multiplier. Least common multiplier. What is the LCM of two numbers? LCM of two numbers is the smallest number which can be divided by both the numbers. Which can be divided by both the number and in that smallest one. Simple example I will take. See, let us take 3 and 8. If you consider 3 and 8, there are many numbers are there, infinitely many numbers are there which can be divided by both the numbers. Which can be divided by both the numbers. What are those numbers? 24, 72, even we can take 48 and so on. Infinitely many numbers are there. Infinitely many numbers are there. In that which is minimum, smallest? 24. 24 is the LCM of 3 and 8. And how to find this LCM? How to find this LCM? It's a very simple. To find LCM is very simple. First observe the given two numbers. First observe given two numbers. If given two numbers are relatively prime numbers, if given two numbers are relatively prime numbers, what is the meaning of relatively prime numbers? Relatively prime numbers is nothing but they are not having any common factors. These two numbers, if they are not having any common factors, then we can say that those two numbers are relatively prime numbers. If you observe 3 and 8, there is no common factor except 1. Except 1, there is no common factor for 3 and 8. So they are relatively prime. If these two are relatively prime, then LCM of these two is nothing but product of these two. LCM of relatively prime numbers is nothing but product of those two numbers. This one you have to remember first. Step 1. Step 2. If they are not relatively prime numbers. For example, let us take 10 and 15. If we take 10 and 15, what is the LCM of 10 and 15? They are not relatively prime numbers. There is a common factor 5. So in this case, so what is the common factor of 10 and 15? We know that it is 5. So divide by 5. 5 2 are 5 3 are. So now multiply these three numbers. Multiply these three numbers. What we are going to get if you multiply these three numbers? 5 2 are 10, 10 3 are 30. So 30 can be divided by both the numbers, and there is no number which is less than 30 which can be divided by both the numbers. So here we can say that LCM of 10 and 15 is nothing but 30. So when we can apply this method, if these two are not having any common factors, then find out the number which is divisible by both, which can be So here 5 is the common factor. Divide by 10, 2. Divide by 15, 3. Now we can't continue. So 5 2 are 10, 3 are 30. Next, another number will take. One more example I will take. Which one we can take? Let us take 18 and 24. What is the LCM of 18 and 24? See, they are not relatively prime numbers because 2 is a common factor. Not only 2, I think 6 is also common factor. So which is the smallest common factor? 2. So it is starting with 2. 2 9 is 18. 2 12 is 24. Next, if you see 9 and 12, again they are having the common factor 3. 3 3 is 9. 3 4 is 12. Now they are not having any common factors. These two are relatively prime. Stop it. Now multiply 2, 3, 3, 4. What we are going to get? 2 3 is 6. 6 3 is 18. 18 4 is 72. 18 4 is 72. So now LCM of 18 and 24 is nothing but 72. LCM of 18 and 24 is nothing but 72. This is the way of find out the LCM of any two numbers. Take two numbers, find out whether they are relatively prime numbers or not. If they are relatively prime numbers, LCM of those two numbers is nothing but product of those two numbers. If they are not relatively prime numbers, find out the common factor. Okay, start with that. 2 is the common factor, is smallest common factor. So 2 9 is 18, 2 12 is 24. Then 9 and 8. Again they are having the common factor 3. 3 3 is 9, 3 4 is 12. Now multiply 4 is 12, 12 3 is 36, 36 2 is 72. 72 is the LCM of these two numbers. Now let us discuss GCD. What is GCD? GCD is nothing but greatest common divider. Greatest common divider. One more name is there, HCF. HCF. What is that? Highest common factor. Highest common factor. GCD or HCF is nothing but a highest number which divides both the numbers. GCD of any two numbers. GCD of any two numbers is nothing but a highest number which divides both the numbers. Is nothing but find out the factors and then what is the highest factor. What is the highest factor? That is called as GCD. For example, if you take 3 and 5. What is the GCD of 3 and 5? Just observe now. Here GCD of 3 and 5 is nothing but 1. GCD of 3 and 5 is nothing but 1 because here these two numbers are relatively prime numbers. They are not having any common factor except 1. In such cases, GCD is nothing but 1. GCD is nothing but 1. If they are not relatively prime numbers. So what is the GCD of, let us take 6 and 14. What is the GCD of 6 and 14? Now this is very simple. Here easily we can say that GCD of 6 and 14 is 2. Highest common factor. Because easily we can say 6 and 14, 2. 3 is not possible. 6 can be divided. 6 is divisible by 3. But 14, no. 14 is not divisible by 3. If you take 4, no. 5, 6, greater than 6 is not possible, right? So 6 and 14 highest common factor is 2. What about higher level numbers? If you take 56 and 98. 56 and 98. How to find the GCD of these two numbers? 56 and 98. How to find the GCD of these two numbers? There is a simple method to find GCD of any two numbers. That method is called as Euclidean algorithm. Euclidean algorithm. This is one of the easiest method to find the GCD of any two numbers. What is that Euclidean algorithm? Here 56 and 98 is given, right? So let us take a highest number here, 98 divided by 56. Divide 98 by 56. What will happen? We know that 56 was the 56. What is the factor here? 2, 4. 42 is the factor. Now take these two numbers. Take 56 and 42. If you divide by 56 by 42, 42 was the 42. What we are going to get? 6, 2, 4, 1. 14. So reminder what we are going to get? 14. Now take 42 and 14. Take 42 and 14. Now just observe here, you know that 14 3s are 42. So what we are going to get? 0. So what we are going to get? 0. In this case, we are going to stop the procedure. So what is the GCD of 56 and 98 now? When we are going to get factor or remainder 0, 14, what we are going to take here, or before remainder, getting 0 before that step, what we got? 14. That 14 is called as GCD of these two numbers. When we are going to get remainder 0, before step, what is the remainder? 14. That 14 is the GCD of these two numbers. That is 14. So this is the concept of greatest common factor or greatest common divisor or highest common factor. And the method to find the GCD is called as Euclidean algorithm. I will take one more example to find GCD. GCD of 216 and 596. What is the GCD of 216 and 596? Consider 596 greater number 596 and divide it by 260. If we take 2, 260. How much? 432. 432. What is the remainder we are going to get? Here 4, 96 and here 1. Now take these two numbers, 216 and 164. 216 and 164. I think only one now. So 164. Here we are going to get 2. Here we are going to get 5. 0, 52. Now 164 divided by 52. Now if you observe, I think 52 3s are 3 2s are 6, 15. So what we are going to get? 8. Right. Now take 52 divided by 8. 8 5s are 40. 48 6s are 48. So what we left now? 4. Right. Now take 8 divided by 4. 4 2s are 8. So what we are going to get? 0. When we are going to get 0, the 8 divided by 4. So before that, what we are having here? 4. So 4 is the GCD of 216 and 596. Let us discuss fractions. So what is fractions? A fractions is a part of unity or a several part of unity. The number which indicates how many parts a unit is divided into is called as denominator of the fraction. Is called as denominator of the fractions. And the number which indicates how many parts are taken is represents numerator. Numerator of the fractions. So what is denominator? What is numerator? Number which indicates how many parts a unit is divided into. That is called as denominator. In that, how many parts are taken? That is called as numerator. It is represented by A by B form. It is represented by A by B form, where A represents numerator, where B represents denominator. Here B represents denominator. A unit is divided how many parts, and in that number of parts, how many parts are taken? That is called as numerator. In this fractions, A by B, that is where A is numerator, B is numerator. If A greater than B, if A greater than B, then that fraction is called as improper fraction. It is called as improper fraction. Improper fraction. That means numerator greater than denominator. When numerator greater than denominator, then it is called as improper fraction. For example, 5 by 4, 6 by 3, 7 by 4, so on. That is called as improper fraction, where numerator less than denominator. If numerator less than denominator, then that is called as proper fraction. That is called as proper fraction. For example, 3 by 5, 7 by 11, 8 by 9, and so on. If numerator greater than denominator, it is improper fraction. Numerator less than denominator, then it is proper fraction. One more is there, a number which consists whole number and fractions. Whole number and fractions. That is called as mixed fractions. Mixed fractions. Mixed fractions. 3, 7 by 4, 2, 3 by 4, 4, 8 by 9, and so on. These are all the examples for mixed fractions. And one more thing you have to remember here, always mixed fractions can be written in the form of improper fraction. Mixed fractions can be written in the form of improper fraction. 3 into 4 plus 7 divided by 4. Multiply 3 into 4, 4 3 is 12 plus 7, 19 divided by 4. This is same as 3 7 by 4. This is mixed fraction, this is improper fraction. Always mixed fraction can be written as improper fraction, or improper can be written in the form of mixed fractions. 5 by 4. 5 by 4 is same as 1 by 4. How to find out that? 5 divided by 4. 4 1s are 4. What we are going to get? 1. So this is the whole number, this is the fraction part. So 1 by 4. If you take 7 by 4, If you take 7 by 4, this is same as 1 3 by 4. 4 1 the 4. What is the fraction? Remainder 3. So 1 3 by 4. So this is the concept of fractions. Now let us discuss addition, subtraction, multiplication and division in these fractions. Addition. How to add two fractions. For example, if you are having a by b plus c by d, how to add these two fractions? In this case, there are two steps are there. Step 1, if b and d, that is denominators of both the fractions are same. If denominators of both the fractions are same, then directly we can add the numerator. For example, 3 by 5 plus 7 by 5. In this case, denominators of both the fractions are same. Directly we can add the numerator. 3 plus 7 divided by 5, we are going to get 10 by 5. And further we can simplify 2. 5 on the 5, 2 the 2 we are going to get. When we can do like this, if denominators of both the fractions are same, directly we can add the numerators. 3 plus 7. What will happen if denominators of both the numbers are not same? That is 7 by 6 plus 3 by 4. How to add these two numbers? Denominators are not equal. If denominators are not equal, we are going to make denominators equal by taking LCM. What is the LCM of 6 and 4? Find the LCM of both the denominator 6 and 4. We know that LCM is 24. 24 is the LCM of 6 and 4. So now here we can write 24 here. In place of 6 we can write 24. 6 4 the 24, so multiply 4 here. So what we are going to get? 28 plus 4 6 the 24. So what will happen if denominators of both the fractions are not same? For example, 7 by 6 plus 5 by 4. Here, denominators of both the fractions, that is 6 and 4, they are not equal, right? So how to find the sum of these two? In this case, we are going to find the LCM of those two numbers. We are going to find the LCM of 6 and 4. What is the LCM of 6 and 4? Directly we can find out here 12. 12 is the LCM of 6 and 4 because value can be divided by both the numbers. Right. So now in place of 6 write 12. 6 2s are 12, so multiply 2 for numerator. So what will happen here? 14 plus and 4 3s are 12. So write 12. 4 3s are 12, so multiply 3 here. 5 3s are 15. Now denominators of both the numbers are both the fractions are same, so we can add the numerator. 15 plus 14, we are going to get 29 divided by 12. So instead of writing this step, directly we can use this one. 12 we can write here. 6 2s are 12, so 7 2s are 14 plus 4 3s are 12, so we can write 5 3s are 15. Instead of this step, we can write this and we can write 29 divided by 12. Both the steps are correct. Anything we can follow. So this is the concept of addition of two numbers. Now let us discuss subtraction of two numbers. Subtraction, actually, if you know how to add two numbers, then subtraction is also same concept but small changes. Subtraction of two fractions. A by b minus c by d. Here also same concept is applicable as like addition. If denominators of both the fractions are same, then directly we can subtract the numerator. For example, 7 by 2 minus 8 by 2. What we are going to get? Denominators is same, so we can directly subtract 7 minus 8 divided by 2. It is minus 1 by 2. What will happen if denominator is not same? 3 by 5 minus 4 by 6. Then consider the LCM of these two. They are relatively prime number. So 30 is the LCM. Multiply 6 for this. 30 write it here. 6 3 is 18 minus 5 4 is 20. So what we are going to get? 18 minus 20, it is minus 2 by 30. You can further simplify this. You can write minus 1 by 15. So minus 1 by 15 is the subtraction of these two fractions. So same rules is applicable as like addition for subtraction. Now let us go for multiplication. See, multiplication of two fractions is very easy. There is no rules like addition and subtraction. Directly we can multiply two fractions. So how to multiply? Multiplication of fractions. If you are having like this, a by b into c by d, how to multiply these two? Here we are going to multiply numerator and denominator directly without any condition. Directly we can multiply numerator and we can multiply denominator. And this concept is not applicable in addition. Don't do like this. 3 by 5 plus 4 by 6. This is a common mistake. Sometimes students used to do 4 plus 3, 7, 6 plus 5, 11. This is the wrong concept. This is not applicable in fractions. Remember. But multiplication we can do like this. That means a and c we can multiply, b and d we can multiply. But this is not applicable in addition. These are common mistakes sometimes students used to do. For example, if I have like this, 3 by 4 into 7 by, let us take 10. To multiply, 7 3s are, we can write 21 and we can write 10 4s are 40. Sometimes we can simplify here. For example, 6 by 9 into, we will take different one, not 9, 6 by, let us take 15. Let us take 7 by let us take 7 by 15 into 10 by 28. Now instead of multiplying directly, we can simplify here. 7 1s are 7, 4s are 28. 5 2s are 5 3s are, and 2 1s are 2 2s are. Now 1 into 1, what will appear? 1 into 1 by 3 into 1 by 2. Now multiply 1 by 6. So this is also part of multiplication. Instead of multiplying directly, if it is possible to simplify there, we can simplify, then we can multiply. This is the important step we have to remember. Next concept, division of fractions. Division. How to divide two fractions, a by b divided by c by d. Here, in this case, see, this is very important concept, division of two fractions, because in many times we are using these concepts, especially multiplication and division. We are going to use in higher level problems to simplify. Okay, so remember this a by b divided by c by d can be converted to multiplication by taking the reciprocal of denominator. Actually, this is the denominator. C by d is a denominator. This one can also be written as a by b divided by c by d. Like this, a by b divided by c by d. This c by d is the denominator of this part. Okay. So now this division can be converted to multiplication by taking the reciprocal of the denominator. That means a by b into this multiplication, this division is going to convert into multiplication by taking the reciprocal of denominator. What is the reciprocal of c by d? D by c. So a by b divided by c by d can be written as a by b into d by c. C by d. this is the denominator part. This denominator we are having numerator and denominator. In this denominator we are having numerator and denominator. That one is going to up. That is denominator is going to numerator and numerator is going to denominator. So this is the way of doing division of two fractions. For example, let us take same 3 by 4 is divided by 7 by 10. It is 3 by 4 divided by 7 by 10. Here, this one can be written as 3 by 4 into 10 by 7. 7 by 10 is going to do 10 by 7 and division is going to convert into multiplication. Now easily we can multiply this. Before that we can simplify. 2 2 is 2, 5 5 3 is 15, 7 2 is 14. That is 15 by 4 is the answer for this. So this is the way of doing division in fraction. Few concepts you have to remember here. I will show that. A by B divided by C. A by B divided by C. What will happen here? This C is going to multiply with B because we can consider C by 1. This 1 is going to convert to numerator. So this one we can write A by BC. This one we can write in the form of A by BC. A by B divided by C can be written in the form of A by BC. This one also you have to remember. These fractions, now I will explain some common mistakes usually students used to do. What are the common mistakes? For example, if I have like this, A plus B divided by A. Students used to write A cancel 1 plus B. This is wrong. This is wrong. For example, if I have like 3 plus 4 divided by, if I am having 9. If I am having 9. So what students used to do? 3 1 are 3, 3 are, so 4 plus 1 5 divided by 3. This is the wrong concept. This is the wrong one. So how to simplify this 3 by 4 plus 9? First we have to add this. Then we are going to divide by 9. 7 by 9. Further simplification is not possible. So 7 by 9 is the answer, not 5 by 3. In PU level also many students are making this mistake. So therefore I am going to explain this. In PU level also many students are making this mistake. And one more common mistake like this. 4 by 3 divided by 6. 2 2 are 2 3 are. So 3 3 cancel like this. This is wrong. This is the wrong concept. How to divide by? How to simplify this? 4 by 3 divided by 6. We can write 4 divided by 3 into 6 as I explained earlier. A by B divided by C. A by B C. So now we can simplify. 2 2 are 2 3 are. So we can write 2 by 9. This is the wrong concept. This is the wrong one. This is the common mistake students used to do in PU level also. So please aware of all these things. One more concept I am going to explain is this. That is ratio and proportion. Ratio and proportion. Ratios of two quantities A and B is represented by A is to B. Ratios of two quantities can be represented as A is to B, where A is called as antecedent, and B is called as consequent. This is the concept of ratio, and this ratio can also be written as A by B. A is to B can also be written as A by B, where numerator is called as antecedent and B, that is denominator, is called as consequent of the ratio. If the ratios of two quantities, that is A is to B, if it is same as ratio of another two quantities, that is C is to D, these two equal ratios form proportion. This is the concept of proportion. Two equal ratios forms proportion. In this, A and D is called as extremes C and D, B and C are called as means of the proportion. A and D are called as extremes of the proportion. B and C are called as means of the proportion. This A is to B equal to C is to D. This proportion is can be also written as A by B equal to C by D. This one can also be written as, because A is to B is equal to A by B, C is to D is equal to C by D. This one can also be written as AD into BC. AD equal to BC. So what is the meaning of this? In the proportion, product of extremes always same as product of means. In the proportion, product of extremes always same as product of means. So this is the concept of ratios and proportions. In this ratio and proportion, let us discuss few properties here. That's very very important for higher level competitive exams. That is, if A by B is equal to C by D. First one, that is alternando. Alternando. What is this alternando? What is this alternando? A by C is equal to B by D. In this ratio and proportion, let us discuss few properties that is important for higher level competitive exams. If A by B is equal to C by D, then first property, alternando. What is the concept of alternando? It's very simple. Just interchange B and C. That is the concept of alternando. A by B, if it is same as C by D, then we can written in the form of AC equal to BD also. This is also true. If A by B is same as C by D, then A by C equal to B by D also. I will give the example. First I will take all the properties alternando. Next, invertendo. What is invertendo? A by B, if it is same as C by D, then we can write B by A is also same as D by C. Just take the reciprocal of both. Take the reciprocal of both. That is also true. Next, third one, componendo. What is componendo? If A by B, if it is same as C by D, then we can write A plus B divided by B is also same as C plus D divided by D. This is also true. That is componendo. Add A with B, add C with D. That is also equal. I will show the example. Next, fourth one, dividendo. What is dividendo? Reverse of this, that is A minus B divided by B equal to C minus D divided by D. Last one, that is fifth one, combination of third one and fourth one, that is componendo and dividendo. Componendo and dividendo. Componendo and dividendo. What is that componendo and dividendo? We are going to combine both. That means A plus B divided by A minus B is also same as C plus D divided by C minus D. So this is the concept of alternando, invertendo, componendo, dividendo, componendo and dividendo. Now I will take one example. We know that 4 by 2 is always same as 8 by 4. Correct? 4 by 2 is 2. Even 8 by 4 is also 2. So we can say that 4 by 2 equal to 8 by 4. Let us verify first one. What we done here? B and C are interchanged. So now interchange 2 and 8. Is it true? Can we say that 4 by 8, if it is same as 2 by 4? Yes, it's same. It is 1 by 2. So alternando is verified. Right? 4 by 8, 1 by 2. 2 by 4 is also 1 by 2. So alternando verified. What about invertendo? Just take the reciprocal of numerator of both. Sorry, reciprocal of both. What will happen? Second one, 4 by 2 numerator is 2 by 4. Whether it is same as 4 by 8? Yes, exactly. That also 1 by 2. This is also verified. What about complement? For numerator, add the denominator. That is 4 plus 2. Third one. 4 plus 2 divided by 2. Can you say that this is the same as 8 plus 4 divided by 4? Can you say that this is correct? Whether this proportion is true? Let us check it. What is 4 plus 2? We can write 6. 6 by 2 equal to 12 by 4. I think both are same as 3. 6 by 2 is 3. 12 by 4 is also 3. So this is also verified. So invertendo verified, componendo verified. What about dividendo? What about dividendo? Subtract a minus b. So 4 minus 2 divided by 2. 8 minus 4 divided by 4. Whether this is true? What about 4 minus 2 divided by 2? 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 by 2. Whether same as 4 by 4? 8 minus 4 is 4? Yes, that is 1. So this is also verified. So dividend is also verified. Now last one, componendo and dividendo. So what about 4 by 2 is same as 8 by 4? For a componendo dividendo, a plus b, 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 divided by 4 minus 2, a minus b, 4 minus 2. Can you say that both are same? 8 plus 4 divided by 8 minus 4. So what will happen if you simplify? 4 plus 2 6. 6 by 4 minus 2. I think we are going to get 2. 8 plus 4 12. 8 minus 4 4. Yes. This is also 3. This is also 3. So component dividend also verified. So this is the concepts of ratio and proportion. In that, these are the 5 important properties you have to remember for higher level competitive exams. That is alternando, dividendo, alternando, invertendo, componendo, dividendo, and finally fifth one, that is componendo and dividendo. Yes. Thank you everyone.